Hi guys, I apologize now if I don't know how to quite intro this video because it has been so long. The last video I posted was October of 2023. It is now January of 2026. As of recording, it is January 15th. I don't know when this video will get posted for several reasons. Right now, I'm struggling anyways to record this. I'll get into that in a second. A couple videos before my first Halloween video I had done in 2023, I had talked about like how not having time with my friends and spending time with my friends doing things was getting to me, and I was having a hard time finding balance between work and my friends and trying to start a YouTube channel. I was having a hard time finding balance of like how much time to spend on each thing and vice versa. And I had said that I was going to slow down on videos but still post because I wanted to spend more time with my friends, but I also didn't want to stop posting. That was the plan, and that was the beginning of October. And then a few months later in December, things drastically changed for me. I don't know how much detail I'll go into about what happened exactly, but essentially the short version of it is that when I was a teenager, I had broken my ankle in several places and then walked on it for several miles because I didn't realize it was even broken. I thought maybe I just like twisted it a little bit or twinged it a little bit. A lot of that reasoning being it was January, so it was so cold out. I live in Michigan. I want to say it was below zero. So because of the cold and other things too, I was drinking, and I don't condone underage drinking at all. But because of that, I didn't realize how bad it was. And I was with a bunch of friends, so we still went and did our thing. And I was limping on it and was like, wow, this hurts, but it's not like crazy bad. A lot of the cold did a lot to numb that. And it wasn't until several hours into hanging out with them that I was like, no, something's definitely wrong, because my ankle was swelling up quite large and it was starting to turn purple. I went through a bunch of stuff with that where I was in a cast for like 6 months, and it was a really bad break because it broke in several places. And I remember the specialist telling me that some of my tendons were partially severed too, and they were talking about surgery and all these things. My parents' insurance would not cover that, and I was just a teenager, so I didn't really have money for something like that. The doctor told us we can just hope it heals the best it can, and you know, if I'm lucky, I'll just have like a normal life. For the next however many years, would get tendonitis every once in a while in that ankle, and tendonitis is just where the tendons are stressed. And I would go to physical therapy for it. You know, after brief physical therapy and some medication, it would calm back down. And then it would be a couple years and it would happen again. Repeat, but every time I would go to physical therapy, get medication, it would be fine after a while. There would be sometimes it would be with friends doing things that was a bit more strenuous that it would bother me, but I thought a lot of that was because I'm a bigger person. I'm carrying around a lot of extra weight. So when it started to bother me after doing like hikes or whatever, I mean, I would still do whatever we were doing, whatever activity it was, but it would bother me and like it would be sore. But I thought I have a lot more stress on that ankle, and you know, an old injury. So I didn't think anything of it, especially since like after that, and then we would go somewhere and chill out, it would be fine. So I was just like, yeah, it's just I'm carrying extra weight around, we're doing something strenuous. Well, December of 2023, I went with a couple of my friends to go do this thing called Wild Lights, and it was at DTE. It's a bit of ways from here, but we went there because one of my friend's birthday is December 20th, so thought it would be a fun thing to go do for her birthday. It's basically where you drive through that place, and they have a bunch of different like Christmas light things set up. If I still have those clips, I'll insert a few of them here because it is really cool. So we went and did that, but the driving, you're constantly on and off the brake, on and off the brake, on and off the brake, because you're just in a car through the whole thing. I remember partway through, I was like, oh, my ankle is really bothering me for some reason. My shoes were like falling apart, and I thought, you know what, I just need to get better shoes. I need to like finally stop wearing these ones that are falling apart to nothing, which I wear a 12 or a 13 in women, so it's incredibly hard to find shoes that fit me. And every time I would order them online, they never fit quite right. But anyways, basically now turning into the longer version, I thought it was just my shoes and that it was just stressing an old injury, and I kept like having these reasons in my head of why I thought this was happening. And then I was like, you know what, it's probably the tendonitis flaring up again, because it did feel similar to that. So I thought, oh, it's just the tendonitis is like getting irritated again. I'm probably gonna have to see a specialist and get back in for physical therapy yet again and inflammation medication, whatever. By the time I left there and had dropped my friends off, I could barely drive home. It was incredibly difficult. I had to keep stopping, and I was like, why is this so intense? Like, I did not understand. Like, it was the most intense thing I'd ever felt, really. And I was like, this doesn't feel the same, actually. This feels very different. So I was like, all right, it's a weekend. It's the middle of the night now. Let me just get home, get off of it, and I'll have to wait until probably Monday to do anything because doctors aren't open on the weekends, and I definitely couldn't afford to go to the hospital over it. So I got home. I go to get out of the car, and the pain is so intense and running up my leg. I took such a long time to actually get in my house. I get in my room, I change into pajamas, and I'm like, I just need to be off of it. I couldn't sleep. The pain was so bad. So eventually I ended up going to the hospital. They are running blood tests and x-rays. I took x-rays. They're like, well, it's not broken, but it does look like a lot's going on in there. And they come back with a blood test, and they're like, we think either it's really late stage arthritis or gout. And I was like, huh. And they're like, yeah, your uric acid's really high. And uric acid basically will form sharp point crystals inside the joint, which are like little needles, and it's very painful. And I was like, well, that sounds crazy. And they're like, is there like a history of gout in your family? And I was like, no, not at all. And they're like, do you eat a lot of acidic foods? And I'm like, well, I eat raw tomatoes and stuff, so yes. And I also eat limes, which I know is a weird thing, and just ignore that for now. So I'm like, yeah, I do eat acidic foods. So, but I have my entire life, and I can't imagine why all of a sudden that's a problem. That seems really weird to me. They were like, all right, we'll follow up with a specialist. And I was like, okay. So I set an appointment for the specialist. I go and see them, and indeed it is arthritis. I'm allergic to most pain medications, so finding a solution for pain has been quite difficult. Currently, just sitting up like this is incredibly painful. The plan for now, which I don't know how well this is going to work out, because right now I'm pretty much at my limit of what I can record already. My back hurts really bad, my ankle hurts really bad, I'm in a ton of pain, and I can't take anything for it. I'm on some anti-inflammatories and a few other things, but nothing for pain. So it's like, I'm very uncomfortable right now. I can't ever seem to get comfortable. So I don't know when this video will be up. I definitely am not going to be able to edit this today or tomorrow even. It's going to take me a couple days in between to even think about editing, because I'm going to end up having to recoup from just sitting here like this, which I know sounds weird, but the stress on my joint and just the inflammation in general making it worse, I'm gonna need time in between. But when I do eventually get this edited and get it posted, I don't know how much time in between now and the next video I make will be. Hopefully not too long, but I do have plans for more videos after this. When they'll be up, I'm not sure. If I have to do it laying down in bed, I will. It'll still make it difficult for me to edit, because that I will have to be at my desktop, but hopefully that won't take so long. But I do have plans for a couple different videos. As you guys know, well, if you've already somebody who's been subscribed, I've polycystic ovarian syndrome, and like my hair is incredibly thin. I have 2 different products that were given to me recently that are supposed to be to help the appearance of hair loss, because I'm losing my hair at such a rate where I have a couple bald spots, which I've shown before in a video. I have one like right here on the side of my head, and then it's like really thin through here, and then I have like a spot back here on the back of my head. So I have 2 products I'm going to test out. I'm probably going to do a video about that. Both of them are really low price points, and as expensive as stuff is, I think that'll be fun to review and see how well they work, if they're worth it, so I can let you guys know if there's anybody that's interested in that. The other things I was going to try to do videos on is I have been using several different apps to try to at least have some sort of money coming in, and I've tried out quite a few of them now. I think I've used probably like 10 to 12 different ones so far. There's some I love, there's some I hate, and there's also a bunch of other tips and tricks I did to try to make some sort of extra income or side hustle or whatever you want to call it. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because I know a lot of people are struggling right now with the way the economy is, the way prices keep going up on everything. I know there's a lot of people that could use some extra money. Yeah, so I think I'll do a video on those. Because I've tried so many, I might do a couple different videos because I feel like if I do a video with 12 different apps in it that I'm using and breaking down why they're good, why they're bad, how to use them, why you should use them, that could turn into such a long video. And if it's something you guys like, I can do more stuff like that because I've been doing a lot of things for money, because even though I am not working, bills do not stop. They don't stop coming, and rates have gone up, especially in Michigan. I think Michigan is one of the highest paying rates for electricity right now in the Midwest. Bills keep going up, they still exist, and I still have to find a way to pay them.
Hey guys, ignore my appearance. I obviously have no makeup on and look like shit because I haven't been awake very long. I am working on, Luna's hanging out. I've been working on editing this video and I don't know what happened with the audio. Like the microphone just completely cut out for some reason. I don't know why. It did it twice. That video was recorded in 2 chunks because I was having trouble sitting through recording it straightly all the way through. So there is a lot missing. None of it's too important, so I'm not really worried about it. Basically, I also do have gout. I have a combination of both. The gout is caused by a medication I was on, so that's that. So I have late stage arthritis and gout in that ankle. I also have lymphedema, which makes my legs swell, as well as like my arms sometimes too, but mostly my legs. So the combination of everything is what caused a lot of my problems and still is. And so that whole chunk of the rest of that was missing. And then at the end where I was talking about the videos I have planned and how long it's going to take me to get them up, hopefully not too long and sooner rather than later. So I'm going to finish editing this and get it out to you guys. So thanks for sitting through what turned into a very long story instead of a very short story like I claimed in the beginning, but hopefully I'll have another one up for you guys sooner rather than later. Thank you.